Hello, everyone. We are back. This is another episode of Insurance Now with the Howard Insurance Group from Allstate. I am Josh, along with
Corrinn
and
Brad.
Guys, thank you so much for showing up again. So, again, we're covering the ins and outs of insurance, which, to some can actually sound boring, but it's not, because like me, I have a lot of questions. In fact, when I go to shop for insurance, the first thing I think about is I know nothing about it. I don't. I really don't know anything about it, and I need it. I need it for my car. I need it for my house. I need life insurance. I need all the things, even business insurance. If you own a small business, large business, you need insurance. One cannot avoid it. Am I correct?
You're correct, and I'm actually going to take that and email that out to prospects. So that was good.
Thank you. Occasionally, I get one or two. Why?
Yeah, that's good.
Right. And the purpose of today's episode is to talk about preparing for life's uncertainties, which we know life is uncertain. When COVID hit, we realized right away that life is uncertain. You never know when things are going to change at a moment's notice.
So you heard sighs from us.
Yes.
And we opened our agency on March 1st.
Near the start of the stay-at-home,
yes.
or in the middle of.
We sent our staff home a week before Colorado did.
Really?
Yes.
That's life's uncertainties, and that's protecting our team. And Corrinn and I made the call. We remember the meeting that Monday morning saying,
it's heart-wrenching.
It's time to go home, and we're going to figure out how to work remotely.
Yeah.
And I think Colorado followed suit a week later.
Oh, my gosh.
And I remember actually, ordering computers and making sure that our staff was able to just work from a remote location.
Wow. So you guys were hit by this just as hard as everyone else.
Absolutely.
And everyone was blindsided, which is essentially why one needs
harder.
insurance. Yeah. Because
our phones weren't even working correctly at the time. Let's put it that way.
Really?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so the calls were forwarding the wrong places.
There were some kinks, let's say, in the transition.
Every time a business starts, there's always those things you have to overcome.
Yep.
It's the early stuff, and then once you're into it, things kind of become smooth sailing until accidents in life happen.
It prepares you better.
Absolutely. So when accidents do happen, let's say I own a home, I do own a home, I own an automotive, I do own a business. What kind of coverage does one need for accidents in those realms, even in life? What am I looking at? What am I needing?
Let's start with the home.
Okay.
Right? So in the event of a total loss, you want to make sure that you're made whole. So what our team does is goes through, it calculates what your home is like and make sure that in the event that you lose everything, we get you back to where you were as quickly as possible.
Wow.
And that's serious.
Losing a home is tough business.
The shock of that itself, to then find out that you were underinsured, that's not a good thing.
No, and you don't find out about it until after the fact because you don't know any better. So what are kind of the things am I looking for in home insurance that I should have that you guys would recommend? I'm a brand new customer. Just tell me.
So Corrinn has taught me very well at this.
Yeah.
To go through and scrub every detail of a house. We have an estimator that we go through, and it's detailed.
Really?
By what that home has inside of it. And even outside of it with a fence or a fire pit or anything, a detached garage. So we look at that, and then we do some mathematical formulas just to sanity check ourselves and make sure that you're covered correctly.
So the stuff inside my house is covered?
So yes, the stuff inside your house is content. Okay. But beyond that, if you have a fire, you need to understand that what would it cost you to replace that?
Oh, wow.
Most Colorado builders are like at $160.
$280.
Yeah, to $280 per square foot. I'd like to make sure that people understand, if you
That's really low, isn't it?
No, it's not.
No?
It's not a market value. It's not.
Really?
It's not a market value.
Okay.
What that means is that if somebody had to come in and rebuild your home, they would do it for about $180 per square feet.
Okay, now I understand. Okay.
Yeah.
Again, I'm really ignorant on a lot. I have insurance and I know nothing about it, which is crazy.
We're glad you have it, though. That's
that's the first place to start.
That's a start.
Really, and it covers even the items inside of my house?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, there's a percentage there up to about 75% of your dwelling cost. So you're usually insured for $200 to $300 or $400,000. So you're fine for your contents. But let me explain to you what it takes if your dwelling is compromised and you have to actually have it all rebuilt.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And another piece of that is if your home burns down, what a lot of people, or it's lost, however it's lost, people don't realize you have to live somewhere.
Yeah, because you're homeless the moment that goes down. And I was thinking about that the other day when I knew someone who a couple years back did lose their townhome to a fire.
Right.
I was like, you can come live with me, because no one from their insurance company had helped them in any way. Again, they had to go to a 1-800 number and be a number somewhere, and they didn't have anybody local to take care of them.
I get an email every day if there's a claim, and I pick up the phone and call that customer to see how that really process is going and what questions they have, even if they've gone through the 800 number, because that is the quickest online or with the 800 number. However, we are here if they're not getting the information they need or the service they need, because it's imperative that they get their life back on track.
Yeah.
And part of that is that living expense to say, I have some place to stay.
Because it's just not, these could be a family with children, dogs, and we're talking about taking care of people. Yep. So this isn't really about insurance. It's about taking care of people when life's accidents show up. Exactly. Wow, that's good to know. So let's say we walk from our home to our auto, and I've got an automotive claim. First off, what kind of coverages am I looking at that I need? And and things go wrong in auto more often than they go wrong at home. Water damages happen at home, but car accidents can be daily.
I can tell you one thing. A lot of people who live with family, that's great. We've done that. But they still need a renter's policy, because that renter's policy is going to carry over to what's happening in their auto. So that $250, deductible is going to carry into their auto, because they are covered for their own possessions.
A laptop gets stolen or something from your car.
Right. So
even those sort of things. Someone busts in and it Right. I had no idea. I never would have called anyone about that if I had known. I wouldn't have known.
Yeah.
So, and then the auto side of it, right? That's more than a third of people in Colorado are either uninsured or underinsured.
Really?
So you're insuring yourself, and if you don't choose to have the uninsured motorist or underinsured motorist,
yes,
you're not doing yourself any favors.
Sure, kind of playing with fire is the old adage.
You're rolling the dice.
Yeah.
And we make sure that people have that and explain to us why they don't want it in the event they don't take it. So what we do is look at their coverages, where they are in life, and figure out what level of personal liability, property damage, medical, other categories that we can't obviously do right here on the show.
Sure.
But making sure you're covered correctly.
Absolutely, which is why you need to call into these guys and get the correct information. So let's say I'm a small business owner, which I was one a very long time ago. I was insured, and I got out of the business because it was a painting business, and there was a lot of premium stuff like that. It was pretty crazy, and this is back in the 90s, so a long time ago.
Right.
So let's say I own a business today. What kind of coverages should be the basic things I'm looking at? Because, again, I work for somebody. I don't work for myself.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Brad and I are looking at each other. I think the biggest thing that I'm going to say right now is your liability coverage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You need to know what your exposure is. You need to know that you have a GL policy, is what we call it, general liability, so that you have that coverage on yourself in case stuff happens.
Right. And when you own a business,
I'm being filtered there.
Anytime you own a business, it's just like the auto policies. I'm guessing something always goes wrong. I mean, when you own a business, things like COVID hit.
Right.
Yeah, no.
Or somebody falls on a slippery floor.
Exactly.
Yeah, it happens every day.
Wow.
So when you don't have that liability coverage, you're doing yourself a disservice,
Sure.
quite honestly. So you can be in service for yourself and you can do all of those things. But if you do not protect yourself, why are you insuring other people and not insuring yourself?
Wow.
Yep.
You make a solid point there. I never thought about it that way.
She normally does.
You're right. So this one, this is the one that really scares me the most because I am married. We do have some life insurance on each other. I don't know if it's enough to cover some of the big expenses if things were to happen in life. You know, we've got a mortgage. You know, if something was to happen to me, I want to make sure that all of the problems would disappear if I was to be gone financially.
Right.
And that is done with life insurance. So I'm carrying a bigger mortgage than I should. So what would I need life insurance wise to make sure that my loved ones are taken care of after I'm gone?
It's a pretty easy formula.
Is it?
And I'm life licensed.
Okay.
It's a big reason I got into this business.
Okay.
Because I take it very seriously. And work policies are great, but if you leave or get fired or whatever it may be, that normally doesn't follow with you.
No, it's gone.
So we have a financial specialist on our team as well, and it's really about an hour consultation that's free, and he will review everything. I will be on that call with you or whoever it is.
So it will be me.
And we'll talk through it, and we'll go through making sure that your family is taken care of in the event something happens prematurely to you.
Sure. It's always it's a scary thing to think about, but it's also relieving once it's taken care of, because then I would know the moment that if something was happening to me or my wife, one of the other party is taken care of.
And it's really a very quick conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Just what do you need to make that mortgage? What do you need to make your family whole? And it's not a hard conversation. It's an important conversation.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, think of 7 to 10 years of your salary. Think of a mortgage. Think of any debt you have. Think of if you're paying for school for your kids.
Wow.
Think of a car payment. There's a lot out there. When you start adding it up, you go, I want to sleep at night and not worry about this.
Yeah.
And Corrinn and I review ours annually just to make sure we have enough.
Sure.
And so you have the owners of the company telling you we do that as well. So it's important for you to talk to us and our financial specialist.
And it makes the most sense, guys. You should call right away to make sure that you can get all of life's uncertainties taken care of with insurance. And guys, what they want to get a hold of you, I know the phone number's up there, but give them all the information one more time so they can get a hold of you guys.
And this is my cell phone, 303-919-5180, or you can email Bradley Howard at allstate.com. That's BradleyHoward at allstate.com.
Any last thoughts you want to share with the audience before we take off?
Give us a call.
Yeah.
Or make sure you're covered correctly.
Yeah, be prepared for life's uncertainties, because that is what it is all about today, and we know that more than ever. This has been another episode of Insurance Now with the Howard Insurance Group. Guys, thank you so much for giving us the time today.
Thanks. We appreciate it.
That's what we're here for, guys. So get a hold of them, and we'll see you guys next time on Insurance Now.